Hey guys, Mani Karthik here. Today I'm going to be showing you an interesting tool, especially of interest to SEOs and webmasters. It's called Plagspotter, Plagspotter, or Plagspotter, however you want to call it. So basically, this is a tool for webmasters, bloggers, and who are has content on the web and wants to find out copies of their own content on the web. Basically, plagiarism checker sort of thing, like a copyscape tool, but in a more rich and really interesting way. So basically, what it does is if you give in your web page URL, it checks the entire internet for copies of your own content, possibly duplicate content, and then you can take action on those sites you find out. As you all know, duplicate content is kind of a big issue in SEO, especially when you're not aware that it's happening. Of course, you know, search engines like Google does an amazing job at actually finding out duplicate content and actually finding out who's the owner and who's the guy who's ripping it off. But sometimes it so happens that if webmasters are not aware of how to tell Google what your new content is, how to keep updated with fresh content, then things can go um, out of hand. And especially if there's someone who's actually copy pasting your content as and when it's posted, sometimes it ends up that you become the copier and uh, the actual guy who's copying your content becomes the original guy because he pings Google first, and Google has indexed his content first. So there are different scenarios here. So it's kind of complex and it's difficult to actually say anything in common. But typically, this is what happens in cases when people get penalized for duplicate content. You don't get to you haven't done the right things to tell Google that you are the actual original guy, and there's these many guys who are copying it. If you can get that information and tell Google that this is what's happening, then you're pretty much taken care of. But that's exactly where this tool comes in. Um, if you go to Plagspotter, plagspotter.com, you can give in your URL and basically it finds copies of your content across the web. So let's do a demo here. So I'm going to give in dailyseoblog.com and click find page copies. And there you go. So it has given me a list of websites that has possible duplicate content or copy content from Daily SEO blog, and it's basically sorted it based on percentage of matching content. So the number one being SEO.alltop.com, which is basically a news track, newsreader sort of a website. So that's okay. I know that's happening there. That's because it always pings when new content is published on Daily SEO blog and it gets listed on SEO.alltop. That's fine. But then if you come down to the list here, you'll find that there's more um, possible matches, which are possibly spammers and people who are trying to rip off the content, just copy paste kind of stuff. All these weird URLs you see down here are possibly duplicate content. So if there's someone which whom you want to just take action, then you can go in and find the URL and go tell the webmaster or report it to Google. Either way, but it's a good, neat way of actually showing who are copying your own content on the web. There's another part to this tool. It's called the originality report. So if you go to originality report, basically what it does is it scans the actual content on the URL that you've given, and it scans the entire content and finds out different parts of the content that's possible matches being repeated on different other websites, and also shows the URLs of those websites and the percentage of how much match it is with their content. So there you can see the highlighted part here is basically the part that's being copied. So you know which part of your content is being copied. So all you have to do is just give in the right URL. Not here I've given the home page, dailyseoblog.com, but then if you have a particular URL, just give in the URL and it would show which part of the actual content is being copied. Pretty neat tool there. There's another part to this too. It's called a batch search. Basically what it does is you can give a list of URLs, I think up to 48 or 49, 48 URLs in batch, and it scans the entire web for possible matches against those 48 URLs. So pretty neat tool if you want to save time. If you have a link of all those, basically have a list of all those links, then you just copy paste that into this box here. Or otherwise, if you have like a sitemap, or if you have exported it to an XML file or a text file, basically you can choose it from here from your machine, and just let it run on its own, and it will show you exactly the same, just that it's for all the 48 URLs. So yeah, pretty neat tool there. I think it's really important for webmasters and SEOs, basically because it lets you track in real time as to who is copying your content, and basically takes the pain of keeping a check on those and alerting you. You can set up email alerts, and you can set up different kinds of alert that'll tell you when your content is being copied. I like it more than Copyscape or any other tools out there. I know that some part of this tool is basically done by Copyscape, so you can always go in and give a URL, and Copyscape would show you all the possible copies. But then this does it on a different scale, and a much more easier to use kind of a pattern. And also they have an API, so if you want to make use of it, like build a build a tool that'll basically incorporate it into your analytics platform or anything, or your SEO platform, you can do that as well. Pretty neat API they've got, I've heard. So worth a check out. It's called Plagspotter, plagspotter.com, the duplicate content finder. Much recommended. Try it out.